All right, what's up, my brothers? So in this video, I want to talk about a DM that I got from one of my viewers who was, well, he's got a bit of a problem, if I can put it this way. He's got a girlfriend, and she won't stay with him if he doesn't get jabbed. So this video is really about frame and how do you deal with, you know, bossy type of girlfriends, like the boss girls telling you what to do or trying to tell you what to do anyway, because he's afraid he's going to lose her because she's going to, you know, bounce on him if he doesn't get his shots for whatever reason. So, you know, we live in interesting times today, right? We live in times where apparently women think it's completely acceptable and normal and reasonable to say, if you don't put foreign substances in your body, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to leave you for somebody else because I could do better, or whatever the narrative might be. So dude's really got two options: stay with the girl and do as she says, or leave the girl and do as he feels is right for him. And if I'm being honest, I'm gonna kind of frame it this way. I'm gonna share a story. So I used to date this girl in my 20s, and I remember she was chirping me about something. I was driving to go get my groceries, and you know, she's in the car and she's, you know, running her mouth, chirping me about whatever it was she was upset about. I can't remember. And you know, I just kind of sat there and I'm just like ready to, like, you know, let her have it. But instead what I did, because she wanted me to do something that I wasn't willing to do, basically, is what it boiled down to. And rather than, you know, play the game or capitulate or whatever you say, honey, okay, George, sort of thing, you know, I decided that I had heard enough, and I had basically grabbed the top of the steering wheel. I was on a 4-lane road, just did a quick shoulder check, did a hard UE, inside rear wheel probably came up a little bit, you know, a few things in the car shifted off to that one side, and I just drove right back home. It was a quick 5-minute drive. She's like, what are you doing? And all this sort of stuff in the car, and I'm just like, I just ignored her. Got back home, stopped in front of the house, reached over, opened the door, I said, get the fuck out. And honestly, like, that was at a time when I was young. I wasn't fully red-pilled, you know, I wasn't fully unplugged, but I knew inherently that I wasn't gonna let a female tell me what to do when it was not aligned with who I was, my core values, and all that sort of stuff. So the way that I'd frame it to this young man that's asking about, you know, his girlfriend threatening to dump him if he doesn't take a foreign substance, an experimental foreign substance in his body, my answer to that is follow my guidance, right? You should never, ever, ever, ever allow yourself to be in a situation where you're going to be coerced to do something that is not aligned with who you are, what your core values and what you know, believe in. Unfortunately, you know, we live in a time where everybody is like all about this new narrative about let's be in fear and live in fear and, you know, consume the comforting lies that media and the government's been telling people all these years. I mean, I wrote a book a couple of years ago called The Unplugged Alpha now. And if you haven't checked it out, you can read that. It's more about, you know, like the grand scope of things, but I'm going to be diving into the follow-up, which should be out in the next year or so, which is going to get into some more of the other concept of unplugging. But yeah, why would you compromise? Why would you make concessions on your core values and your beliefs to try to, you know, put a smile on somebody else's face? You can't make somebody else happy. You know, you really can't. And what you'll end up doing is, with every little concession that you make, with every tiny little concession along the way, doing what she says, you're going to go through the betatization through 1,000 concessions model, which is a horrible thing to do. Don't ever make concessions like this. I mean, if a chick's going to threaten to dump you because she's trying to control you over what it is you're going to put in your body, that's like saying, I'm going to dump you if you don't go vegan with me, or I'm going to dump you if you don't move to this neighborhood with me. Like, where does it end? Like, where do you put your foot down and make sure that it ends somewhere? The problem is today that most guys don't have a backbone, and they let women run them. They let women tell them what to do, and then they wonder why, when they go and get married and, like, you know, they're 2 or 3 kids later, she ends up leaving him to go and, you know, she ends up leaving him to go and port Kevin from sales from her office. It's because he never had the frame of the relationship. A guy that's running the frame in the relationship has the ability to put his foot down and say, no, it's not happening. I'm not having it. And you know what, guys, honestly, at the end of the day, if you don't like something, that should be good enough. They're like, it shouldn't come with any explanation beyond that, really. Yeah, so that's really what it just boils down to, guys. You know, having a backbone and having some frame in that relationship so that you've got the capacity to say no. Guys that don't have the ability to say no to things that they don't like, they get destroyed in family court. And that happens to 50% of guys that end up having kids and getting married. You don't even have to get married. You can just live in a way that looks like marriage to the state, and they can end up taking advantage of you. And dudes that do not have frame, that cannot control the direction of a relationship, that cannot say no to their wives, their girlfriends, or whoever it is that they're dealing with, they are the ones that suffer. They suffer in the long term. So you're dating this chick, and I think he said it was like only like 6 months in or something like this. You're dating a chick and she's trying to tell you what to do. You tell her what to do, show her where the door is, and tell her to walk through it, and don't let it hit her on the butt on the way out. It's as simple as that. Don't let anybody run your life and tell you what to do, especially a female. You start from that position of weakness. You start from that position where like you're acting like you need to have her or you can't live without her. Guess what, buddy? It's over. You're going to have a real rough time as the years pile on and you go through the betatization through 1,000 concessions process. Now, that being said, I'm going to wrap it up on that note. Pinned in the top comment, there is a bunch of links. You're going to want to grab my book if you haven't read it, The Unplugged Alpha, to set the frame and your mindset about what an unplugged man looks like and lives his life and what he will and will not tolerate. And definitely stick around. Make sure if you're new to the channel, you hit subscribe and the notification bell. I run a podcast Monday night called The Unplugged Alpha. You're going to want to watch that. There's some good shit in there. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.